They say looks can be deceiving. At first glance, I thought you were not much to look at. All icing, no cake, all steam, not much brew. But the night air sings of fulfilling ancient dreams. The moon whispers of tenderness for the smallest of them, for the unheard, the unseen. And as the sun breaks through our heroes' memories, your blinding smile hits my heart, like the warrior's blade, like 𝗯𝗹𝗶𝗴𝗶 spear. But the far seas beckon you. The memories on these walls try to soothe the pain of parting. I seek for your warmth, but only these sheets comfort me. My tears are salt water flowing to bridge the seas and islands that divide us. The stars listen to my sighs as I look for you in the skies. And now you're here. Our love blazes like the fire of our heroes' revolution. Our hearts entwined is such sweet victory, incomparable, like the journey of our people, like the richness of our culture.
Maayong hapon sa tanan. Welcome to our Fiesta karong adlaw. Welcome to the Libro Fest. A journey through Visayan poetry, stories, heritage, and history. So we are very happy that you are with us this afternoon once again to journey with us through words. so so this month, it's the first day of the month, it's July. We have also celebrations this month. At the end of the month is on July 27 is the birthday of our hero 𝗯𝗃𝗀𝗃. So we have an event on that day. So we will have an event on the Saturday of that week. So it will be the celebration. May we show the graphics for 𝗯𝗃𝗀𝗃 at 150? So it's 𝗯𝗃𝗀𝗃 at 150. Um, there will be a discussion, conversations with the sculptor of that monument at Bacong Negros Oriental. It's Danilo Shulesta. He is also a researcher about 𝗯𝗃𝗀𝗃, and he has been recommended by our historians from Silliman University that he should be the one to converse with us about the story, the battles, the magic, and the love life of our hero 𝗯𝗃𝗀𝗃. So are you now curious about the love life of we thought he was a virgin and a martyr, but but we would find out if regarding the love life of our hero 𝗯𝗃𝗀𝗃, also his battles and his magic, and of course how the sculptor Danilo Suliesta was able to what was his inspiration in this sculpture. I was always telling I actually told him I like how you portrayed 𝗠𝗀𝗃𝗀 and the horse in that monument, because it's the horse is a fighting horse, and 𝗠𝗀𝗃𝗀 is also really fighting in that depiction of him in that monument. So, and also on that day, we will have a contest among the senior and junior high school students of Central Visayas. It is a hybrid speech contest, and we invite those senior high and junior high students to join this very exciting contest, a very relevant contest with the theme, How Does 𝗠𝗀𝗃𝗀's Magic of Heroism Live in Today's Modern Day Heroes? So, and this is in partnership with the DepEd, the Department of Education, Region 7, and we thank the Regional Director, 𝗯𝗃ecie𝗸𝗀𝗃, for always partnering with us, leading the DepEd 7 in partnering with us in our heritage and history events involving the learners of the Region 7. So, of course, also, we are also very excited in this event on July 28th. Our resource person was actually, he requested that the discussion, I mean, the hybrid event or the event would be on July 28th, because one of our resource persons is is the former dean of the University of the Philippines College of Music, and this is for the event Kaskas, the string instruments. We will be tracing the string instruments from pre-colonial to modern day Philippines, and so we will be we would be showing you this video that we really worked very hard for. We started making this video in shooting this in 2018 for the Mactan guitar, and then so we are tracing it. We went as far as Cavite to see where the galleon docked, and we also were able to connect with the Philippine Embassy in Mexico, and we will have also video clips of our interview with a historian who researched about the galleon trade, and she is based now in Mexico, and but she is an associate professor at the University of the Philippines, so it's Professor of Bispado. So we will also be having also a clip about in the video, also with a music historian from the University of Santo Tomas. So, and aside from that, we will be having on site on this day uh, a singer-songwriter, a hit maker. He was the one who sang and who composed Dili Tanan. So this is Romel Toyko. So of course, you have already heard that song, Dili Tanang Guwapo, Laki, Dili Tanang Laki Guwapo, Dili Tanang Long Hair Rocker, Dili Tanang Rocker Long Hair. It was a very viral, it was really a hit song, and so we should watch out for this fun event on July 28th. And aside from that, we will be treated to a music uh, we will have a guitar instructor at the University of the Philippines College of Music. He is from Cagayan de Oro, but he is now teaching at the University of the Philippines Diliman College of Music, and we would be hearing how he arranged and he performed this very beautiful Visayan song, Matod Nila, and it would be on that event. So this is a musical treat for us, for everyone, and we would trace the history of our string instruments from pre-colonial times until the modern times. So daghang salamat to those online. So we have Lita Bacalia from CNU. Thank you very much to Dr. Lita Bacalia for joining us. Also, uh, uh, Ferdy Aparticio from Taguig City and Pateros. He is the supervisor of the DepEd Taguig City and Pateros. Thank you very much for joining us once again, and we are excited to have you with us on site to celebrate with us the birthday of 𝗠𝗀𝗃𝗀, and you would be joining us on site for these two events. for July 28 and July 29. So daghang salamat for always um, being an advocate of Filipino Visayan heritage. So so now we would also like you to know that July 1, I mean July 28. So you have an event July 29, that's the birthday of a celebration of the birthday of Leon Kilat. Even if his birthday is on July 27, it is the 150th birthday of our hero Leon Kilat. On August 12, so we invite you once again to a literary event with Adonis Dorado, so you would know about the triggers, the muses, the inspirations of poets on this day, on August 12. And on August 19, we will have the Women in Literary Arts to tell us about the women in poetry or ang mga babay sa balak. And then, so how do the women write poetry? So we would also know that thing. Maybe in our one of our guests today is also a poet, a lady poet. So so now we would like you to know that this afternoon is our Libro Fest. We would be showing you about so many books. How many books are these in all? We would try to make it as fast as possible, but of course, we will have about 20 points to read, excerpts of about 20 poems to be read to you by our guest poets and readers. So this is very, so we really tried to to select the poems that on the short and the very beautiful poems for you as a treat for you in our Libro Fest this afternoon. So if you buy 3 books, you would get 10% off. So you should count. Tulo na ba? One, 3 books and you get 10% off. So I don't know if this rule would we still have this rule, the mine. Do you still have? It's okay if you don't say mine. It's mine plus code, or they would mention the title of the book, and mine. And according to Chris, our heritage in charge and bookshop in charge, no cancellation after the event, no second thoughts. Final na tanan. If you say it's mine, it's yours. Don't take it back. Walang bawian. so so and then send us a message to confirm your purchase during the after the live. So after the event, please send us a message uh, to confirm your purchase. So pwede pa din ni second thoughts. Pwede pa ni second thoughts. We would be happy if you would we would be happy if you would be able to patronize, buy these books to support our Visayan, Mindanaoan, and all authors from the different parts of the Philippines. So, mag-start na ta. So now we would like to introduce to you now our guest poets, our readers. So we have with us they are with us for the second time. So the first time that they were with us was in that event, Ulipon sa Gugmang Giatay, Slave of Crazy Love, um, art, love, and everything in between. So that was in August last year, right? So we had them as and of course that event when we had the poets talking about love, how love inspired them to write poetry, love of country, and romantic love inspired them to write poetry. That event was one of the top events at Palmgrass live events to have the most audience. So, love and poetry really is very exciting. Is it exciting for you? Do you want to? I do you want to share your thoughts about poetry and love? So our one of our poets right now, our guest poets, uh, was awarded as the labing masaarong bagong magsusulat in Manila Bulletin's Bisaya magazine in 2018, and she was the vice president of the Bathalad Sugbo. She is also one of the founding members of Hablon, a poetry group, and she is the lead author of a Scopus Index paper entitled "Community Engagement in the Indigenous Education Discourse: Unraveling Policy Lessons from the Lumad's Alternative School in Mindanao," published in June 2022. And she is currently she is a graduate of a Master of Education, Social Studies graduate of UP Cebu, and she is a lecturer now at University of the Philippines, Cebu. Please help me welcome Jay Magdadaro. Wala. So,
Sige, mayong hapon sa tanan o daghang salamat sa pagtan-aw. Hinaot nga malingaw mo karong hapuna, no? Uban sa ato ang mga kalingawan kaayo nga sa tawag ani mga excerpts nga atong pambasahon gikan sa atong mga inila ug mga kanang tinahod nga mga magbabalak ug mga magsusulat sa Sugbo ug sa Mindanao sab.
Sige. May pagidungan to na ako sa introduce now, and with her is also a faculty of the University of the Philippines Cebu and in the College of Communication, Art and Design, and he had his masters in literature at the Xavier University Ateneo de Cagayan. He published his poetry collection Basa Basa in 2018. And please help me. He is a fellow of the 57th UP National Writers Workshop. Please help me welcome the love of Jay's life, Tonda Pusala.
Ngapag kanini tanan. Naot nga malingaw mo sa quad sa mga balak nga pangbasa namo ginaot sad nga mga quad namoy mapili sa mga quad sa mga uluhan diri. Salamat.
Daghang salamat Ton and Jay. So murag si Ton kay murag na nakuyawan siya kay na si Jay sa iyang tapad. Murag nangupya siya ka Jay. Joke ra paraphrase niya ang greeting si Jay. Kay nakuyawan siya. So daghang salamat to Aubrey Minyosa, our do you know, Aubrey, that your last name is a last name of one of our heroes in Cebu? So Aubrey is one of our interns and a performer and an actress in our video, youth created video, Don't Give Up on Us Baby. You will still see that on YouTube and also at our Facebook page. From Liberata, Policarpio, magandang hapon mula sa Dibisyon ng Taguig at Pateros, Paaralang Nasyonal ng Pateros. Also, Juliet Alimpuyo, magandang hapon. So we have these books at Basahanan ni Lumaya. It is a bookshop named in honor of a character in a folklore in Cebu. According to folklore, Lumaya was the founder of Cebu and a grandfather of Braha Humabon. So this is fiction and also written by a literary artist, 𝗗ँõVito𝗶𝗹𝗶. So we would like you to know that right now, may we show the books there? So right now, we have so many books at Basahanan ni Lumaya. So there are books for free reading. When you come to Palmgrass and you go to our library restaurant, so there are books now for free reading. During the pandemic, we did not allow these books to be read by the guests at Palmgrass. So we just had this for sale, but now we allow these books to be read while you are dining at our library restaurant, Kapihan ni Lumaya. And of course, the authors would be very happy if you would buy these books. So we would be presenting to you these books, the new titles, and also, of course, our our classic books, our books that have been that are bestseller at Palmgrass, the books on history, heritage of the Philippines, the Visayas, the different parts of the country, and also the books on poetry and short stories by our Visayan and Mindanaoan authors. So now we would like to first to show you a book that published by Palmgrass and released the 2021 edition. So I mean the 2021 edition, the fourth edition of this very important book on Cebu history, a short history of Cebu 1500 to 1890s and the anti-Spanish revolution in Cebu by 𝗠tože. So this is just 590 pesos. So unsay code ani? 𝗠tože. 𝗠tože 590 pesos. So this is a very important book because all the other authors like Dr. 𝗯tože, Michael Collinane, everyone referred to this book when they are writing. So this was first published in the 1970s. There's a second edition by Bathalad in the early 80s. And so this is a very important book reference for the history of Cebu. So that's from 𝗠tože. So next we have this book written by Cebuano children. So this is the output of the children. We had a workshop with the kids in 2018, the Cebu, from the different schools in Cebu, and we had a workshop on the story of 𝗂𝗏𝗀𝗃. We were so surprised because the kids already knew the facts about 𝗂𝗏𝗃, and we asked them, what is the magical thing about 𝗂𝗏𝗃? What is the very interesting for you in 𝗂𝗏𝗃? And then they said it's the sigbin. So from the about 20 kids, 4 were chosen to write this story. So everyone gave their contribution. They contributed to the story, and the illustrator of this was a 16-year-old. She was 16-year-old when she illustrated this, Christine Ann Subaan. So we have Juliana Kapangpangan, Santi Sagaino, Isabella Bautista, and Francis Vicoy, the authors of this book. And this book is 550 pesos. It's full color, and you also get the real story of 𝗂𝗏𝗃. There is a glossary and the real story of the journey to freedom, the road to freedom at the last part of the book. So this is 550 pesos. So very beautiful illustrations by Christine Ann Subaan. So we would like to show you are these excerpts or the whole video? The whole video, the behind the scenes. We have the behind the scenes of how the kids wrote this story. Si 𝗂𝗏𝗃 ug ang sigbin. This video is created by Prospero Lapot of Social Communications Asia.
History teaches us courage and selfless acts of heroes like that of Jose Rizal or General Gregorio del Pilar. The stories about their fight against superior foreign enemies come across as a rallying cry for people to identify a common nation and love of country. But there are stories too in the regions and localities that should be part of the whole history of the Philippines. In recent years, a surge in research and writing of local histories reintroduced us to local heroes like 𝗂𝗏𝗃, General Arcadio Maxilom, and others. To many local people, though, they're just names of streets.
Kaila ba kang 𝗂𝗏𝗃 nay?
Wala. Didya?
𝗂𝗏𝗃.
Okay la. Ang gitawag niyo din Sanagod 𝗂𝗏𝗃. Pero ako kitag taong kakinsa ng tao nga 𝗂𝗏𝗃.
Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel wants to connect the locals with their past. We produced music videos, published books in local history, and put the names of local heroes literally on the dining table. In 2018, we assembled a group of kids and tasked them to write a book about 𝗯𝗚𝗀𝗃 for children.
I first heard about 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀 when I was looking for something to read at my house.
My Araling Palipunan teacher was lecturing about the famous people in Cebu, and 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀 was one of our topics.
I mostly knew 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀 by name. History-wise, I didn't know much about 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀.
𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀 or Pantaleon Villegas was a Katipunan general who led the Cebuanos' fight against Spain in what we now know as the 1898 Battle of 𝗃de Abril. In the book that we published, history writer 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀𝗃 wrote that the battle was the crucial spark that turned the tide against the forces of Spain in Cebu.
It was a big victory for the locals because for the first time in history, hindag na mga Katsila.
Like many, Santi Sagaino did not know the story about 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀 or other local historical figures for that matter.
Sa naobserbaran ko, parang hindi to masyadong tinuturo ng mga guro kasi sa textbook kasi nila, para bang hindi to nakafocus.
Local history was not taught as a core subject in schools, even before the Philippines implemented the K-12 basic education curriculum in 2016.
Right now, murag na may mga attempts no to focus on local history no nanay, although medyo lacking siya gamay. So this book can fill in that gap, no.
Those are just the excerpts. You would see the full video of that at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel YouTube channel. So it's a Sigbin behind the scenes. So so that's the story of how the kids were able to. So we gathered them. So the concept we were actually thought it was our video creator Prospero Lapot who suggested, because we were thinking how to make a children's book on 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀. And so it was our video creator who suggested, why don't you ask the children to write the story themselves? So that's why we had a workshop with the kids. And so we have this very amazing book. We have a magical book on 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀 based from the story of 𝗯𝗚𝗃𝗀. So speaking of children's book, we have another children's book here at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, and this is by Joshua Cabrera and Heidi Palapar. And this is Maria Cacao sa siglo XXI. So Maria Cacao sa siglo XXI. So this is a different. This is a story, a coloring story book. So the kids would have fun coloring this book. So these have beautiful illustrations by Joshua Cabrera, and he depicted Maria Cacao here as wearing hablon, not like a Greek goddess, like usually the depiction of Maria Cacao is a fairy, like from the like Greek goddesses. So and fairies like in white and everything. So here Maria Cacao is in hablon. So you see Maria Cacao here wearing a sarok. So of course the sarok was the hat or the headgear, I mean the hat worn by the wife of Abraham Humabon when she was baptized. So this is the hablon of Maria Cacao. So speaking, so this is Maria Cacao. So this is Maria Cacao, 490 pesos. So this has limited copies. Na may copy ani? We have still copies of this. The copies of this ran out a few months ago, so we have replenished our stocks of this book. Maria Cacao sa siglo XXI by Joshua Cabrera. It's illustrated by Joshua Cabrera and retold by Heidi Palapar. So, right now you would see me wearing the Hablons Argao. so, the women in Argao, so this is a traditional livelihood of the people of Argao. So they use the traditional loom in weaving this in this fabric. So hablon, hablon comes from the word habol or to weave. So we have pitit shawl, we have shawls, and then you have different designs of shawls. We also have hand printed hablon here. So if you are interested, you can send us a message. We will post about this. Is this in our shop, in our Facebook? Not yet in the Facebook shop. So this is the pouch. So made of hablon also. So this is, how much is this? Well, sa sulod. Madugay na ta. So this is, you will find out when we post this. So, and then this is also another pouch, very beautiful pouch. So this is only 425 pesos, and we would be supporting the women of Argao to continue their craft of this traditional loom weaving. And this is also a purse, ondok. This is ondok, and this is 215 pesos only, and to support the women of Argao in their traditional weaving. Also, this is a shawl, also with traditional design. Like this is really a Bisaya design with so many colors. And also this is a drawstring bag with hablon. Wala. Hurot na to time. And this is also another hablon. Really a bag. So, asa ni siya nga bag? Kasi tawag ani nga bag? A tote bag. Very beautiful tote bag. So, those are hablon from Argao. So we showed that to you because we said that Maria Cacao is from Argao. So the story of Maria Cacao is that Maria Cacao has a cave in Argao, and she so you already know the story. It's just like the Maria Makiling story, but this time Maria Cacao has a galleon, a golden galleon that that destroys bridges when she brings her cacao to the different parts of the world. So this says Maria Cacao sa siglo XXI. So I have seen our audience saying that they are now so excited to hear our poets like Jay and Ton read the poems. So we would now like to have Jay. So before that, I would like to say maayong hapon to Michelle Sintoria, who is excited to hear Jay and Ton, Janet Diego from SDO Tapat, Sheila Malyare from Taguig Integrated School, and Feliza Joanna from Taguig Science High School. And we also are very happy that we are watching right now is the Babaylan of UP Cebu, Miss Ligaya Rabago. Daghang salamat for supporting Jay and Ton. so we would now like to show you this book, Minugbo, by Adonis Dorado, and Jay and Ton would be reading excerpts from this poetry collection of award-winning, multi-awarded poet Adonis Dorado. So maybe Jay and Ton. Yes, this is from Minugbo alang sa Mugbo ug Kalipay.
Hiwa. Tuod, ang paghiwa mo sa akong balatian, gamit lang ang habol nga kutsilyo. Apan, hisay ring may bunog ang tadtaran sa matag adlip mo sa kada pailob ko.
Translated by Tanar. This is the English translation titled Cut. Yes, you cut my feelings with a blunted knife.
but know that the chopping board is bruised each time you slice my patience.
Yes, so that's minugbo alang sa mugbo og kalipay. How hiwa, cutting the feelings. So for those who don't understand Bisaya, they are reading a poem entitled Hiwa, which is to cut, like to cut your feelings. How do you cut the feelings of someone? So this you can see that in this poetry collection. This is 400 pesos, minugbo alang sa mugbo ug kalipay by Adonis Dorado. And so the code for this is minugbo. So each poem has an English translation. So you wouldn't have a hard time understanding it for those who are not Bisaya, because and you would also learn Bisaya when reading this. So another book that they would read from the collection of another poetry collection of Adonis Dorado, Lisay Sabugan, or A Swelling in the Loins. This is so this is 400 pesos. Lisay, 400 pesos. So we have Ton and Jay.
Pruweba sa 𝗗𝗴𝗃𝗱𝗴 hypothesis. Anong pinangga ko nimo?
Kaya mangutana gyapon ko mangutana gyapon ka nako ana.
Ikapila ko sa imo kasing-kasing.
Kaya mangutana gyapon ko nako ana.
Pagtarong ba? Asa naman sa taan ni paingon?
Kaya mangutana gyapon ka nako ana. So English translation, proof of 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴 hypothesis.
Why do you love me?
You still have to fucking ask that.
How many relationships did you have before me?
You still have to fucking ask that.
Hey, where are we heading again?
You still have to fucking ask that.
So why do you fucking ask that? So ang Bisaya to, why do you love me? Nganong gihigugma ko nimo? Nganong gihigugma ko nimo kaya ngano mangutana man kaana. Sa asula oy gisig pangutana. Unsay answer good? Unsay answer ato?
Nagsakay sila. Actually, it's an
So ang
illustrated.
answer ngano unsa day? What's the answer sa why do you love me? Kayata, no? Why do you fucking ask that? So kayata is fucking. So for those who are not Bisaya, kayata is fucking. So why do you fucking ask that? So the one who was asking, so the answer is, why do you have to ask that? It's a question not meant to be answered. So yes. So Michelle says, ha 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 kayata. Matagtaan ni adult content ni Facebook. Grabe ni si Facebook when we discuss about the practices, the love-making practices in pre-colonial times. We were tagged as adult content. In the conversations with Professor 𝗗𝗽𝗃𝗃, and we discussed the gadgets, we tried to boost it so that many would be able to see it. And it said, no, cannot be boosted. It's adult content. So now we are now in adult content. So this is that poem is from Adonis Dorado, Lisay Sabugan, 400 pesos, Lisay. So next poetry collection by Adonis Dorado. This is the first and most popular. This is di na tambasa ani. There is no excerpt. So of course you already know that very popular poem. It is here in this book. Balaki kuday samtang magsakay tag habalhab. Balaki kuday samtang nagsakay tag habal-habal. So in English it's translated as, recite to me a poem, babe, while we're on this fucking ride. Fucking yapon kini sa Adonis nagkakaling fucking siya. So dili tanang matagak mahagbong. This is the first poetry collection, and that poem, one one blogger was saying that balaki kuday samtang gasakay taghabal-habal is for him it's the most beautiful Bisaya poem of all time. So this is dili tanang matagak mahagbong. So the code is matagak, 400 pesos. So the next collection is these are most of these, the three of these. This one, Disay sa Bugan, and this Pahinungod sa Dihing Tungdan. These are all launched here at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. Hawanan 3 de Abril, it's here. It was this To Whom It May Not Concern by Adonis Dorado, or Pahinungod sa Dihing Tungdan by Adonis Dorado. So we have Jay and Ton for excerpts.
Balakakon. Ang balak kay di lang kabahin sa matuod. Magunsa man kon ugaling huisgot kini sa imungalan o sa petsarong adlawa o sa mga utang nga wa pa mabayaran. Kinahanglan usahay mulitok kinig bakak. Mahibawang masina, masilag sa hulagway, muluib panagsa sa timbangan sa pagtuo kay diha sa balaknong hustisya sa kinabuhi. Ang imong ngalan, balikason sa tigpatanto. Ug anang gabi una, muuli kang hubog ug samaran samtang ang buros mong kapuyo-puyo hinog nga namintana sa saad sa kalawran sa mga saad.
And this is the English translation. Poet trickery. Poetry is not just about the facts. What then if it mentions your name, or the date today, or the debts which are still unpaid? Sometimes it must utter untruths, must be envious, must detest disguise, must at times tip the scales of disbelief. Such is the poetic justice in life, that the creditor curses your name, and you return home that night wasted and wounded, while your pregnant live-in partner ripens at the window of the promise of the ocean of promises.
Yay! Daghang salamat for that poem. So it's a picture of the social reality, the reality in our times. Daghang salamat for that poem. And it's from Pahinungod sa Dihing Tungdan by Adonis Dorado, To Whom It May Not Concern. And this is 550 pesos. The code for this is Pahinungod. Pahinungod. Pahinungod sa Dihing Tungdan by Adonis Dorado. And the last poetry collection that we also introduced this to last year, ang nakayatak kay nayatakan. Asa ba na libro? Wala na diri. So, ang nakayatak kay nayatakan. So it's a tongue twister. So before we would present to you this book, we would show you a video that we made from this book. It's a tongue twister challenge for the title. Please show the video.
Ang nakayata kay nayakatan. Ang nakakatay kay kay nakakatay ay nayatakan. Ang nakayata kay nakatan.
Ang nakayatak kay nayatakan, ang nakakatay kay nakatayan, kay nakakatay ang nayatakan, ang nakayatak kay nakatayan. Ang nakayatak kay nayatakan, ang nakakatay kay kay nakatay ang nayatakan, ang nakayatak kay nakatayan.
Daghang salamat to the Palmgar staff who took the challenge of saying these words. Ang nakayatak kay nayatakan, ang nakakatay kay nakatayan, ang nakakatay kay nayatakan, ang nakayatak kay nayatakan. So it's very hard. So of course, for those who are not Bisaya, nakayatan means fuck. Fuck gihapon. Unsa kayo nang nakayatan na fact, no? Oh, ma-adult content na gyud ta ni karon. Do we still read an excerpt? Di na lang, no? Okay, we will have another video. So this is asay ko na ni, asay, how much is this? Wala sa screen. Wala, 460 pesos. Nakayatak. So nakayatak. So we also have a video. We made a video about in one we made a video for one of the poems here. So it's this has also visual poetry. So Adonis Dorado is also an awarded visual journalist. So and he is now teaching at Ohio University. So we have a video made by our team here, the staff at Palmgrass, for one of the poems entitled 𝗚tože𝗶𝗴𝗱𝗿𝗀. Watch out for this.
Ada ako. Dinhi.
Sige, sige ha.
Karon
Kanon na iya.
mismo.
Ay, ay, ay.
That's the poem. It has an English translation, but we were not able to put it in the video. So we can't translate it. What's ana ako? Sabi na din sa ano, it's 𝗚tože𝗶𝗴𝗱𝗿𝗀. We would let you know later what is the English translation of ana ako. Ana ako. So bisuda kayo. So our actors for that, our voice performers for that are really voice actors from the radio station. So we have Greg Rubio. So actually, so this is ana ako, and the English is get down. Dinhi, here, karon, now, mismo, right away, get down, here. I mean, the answer is get down, get down, here, keep going, now, harder, right away, oh la la. This is the translation of that. Get down, here, keep going, now, harder, right away, oh la la. So mana siya. So it's from fucking gyapon to. Fucking right gyapon. Makuha na gyud ta ani. So from that poetry journey, we will now we have an intermission with our history. Is this intermission? So we would show you again some of our history and heritage books. So we have this book, the first book published by Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So this is the book about 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀. So when we had our soft opening in 2016, the first thing that we did, well, in April 3, 2016, was to launch this book by 𝗚𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃, 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀, The Untold Story of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. And we would like to show you our video, one of our videos for the birthday of 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀 in 2019, created by Social Communications Asia. We went to Bacong Negros Oriental. This is produced by Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, to interview the descendants of 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀, who told us that 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀's grandmother was actually from Karkar, and his grandfather was a pure Spanish from Spain who married a native in Karkar. And 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀's father went to Bacong along with the brother, 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀's father and 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀's uncle. 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀's uncle went to Gihulngan, and 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀's father went to Bacong and married also a native of Bacong. So this is a very short 1-minute video about the amulets of 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀.
Ako si 𝗯𝗴𝗱𝗶𝗵𝗀. Ang nagsulti nako nining istorya kabahin ni Pantaleon Villegas ang iyang igsuon si Lola Erenia. Mahibalo man mi nga samok gyud dito kay niyo man siya nga magpakita gyud ang dakong bituon diri sa dagat. Muna iti mailhan nga gagubot na mi dito sa Cebu. Sige man gud ga-celebrate diri og Pantaleon Villegas sa iyang birthday. Unya makadungog pud mi sa 3 de Abril. Mao po nay amo masulod sa una-una nga katong among apuhan. Dako kaayog nahimo diri sa atong nasod. Wala gyud mi nahimo dito niya. Nga ingon nga naami na natampo dito niya nga unsa o nato ana nga to aman sa layo nakigawa meg ya diri tabang tag depensa niya.
So we have 3 videos about 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃 on with the descendants of 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃 in Bakong, and you have seen that sculpture. So the one who made the creator, I mean the sculptor of that monument of 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃 will be with us on July 29. This month. So he will be with us to tell us about 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃 and also how he made that sculpture. So this is 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃, 460 pesos. So we would also like to show you this book that this is a new a new arrival, a new book at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. Anting Anting, You Shall Be as Gods by Denny Santos Villegas. And so this is 979 pesos, and it has the code is Anting Anting, 979 pesos. And this is very amazing because this book tells the story of the Anting Anting in the Philippines, in our archipelago, from pre-colonial times until the modern times. So this is full color. This is glossy with full color and different photos of Anting Anting from pre-colonial times, the design of the Anting Anting and stories about the Anting Anting from pre-colonial period until today. So this is Anting Anting, You Shall Be as Gods, and the Filipino quest for the mystical power. 979 pesos, Anting Anting. So we would all now also show you the books by national artists for literature and historian Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗿𝗀. So we have here this book. So this book is entitled 𝗍𝗶𝗹𝗶, the Conqueror of Magellan. So mine, daghang salamat to 𝗍𝗪𝗍𝗍𝗍. Please show that again. So that's mine, one book, 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃, and 3 pieces Hablon coin purse, an addition to previous items ordered. Daghang salamat for this, for availing our book, 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃, and also the Hablon items. So this book, 𝗍𝗶𝗹𝗶, The Conqueror of Magellan, this is a novel by Vicente Gulla. So this is fiction, but the first part, like 1/4 of the book, is an introduction and annotation by Dr. 𝗖𝗋𝗋𝗆. So he in his introduction here, Dr. 𝗖𝗋𝗋𝗆 would tell us what really happened, or according to the different folklore, who is Lapu-Lapu, but then and what really happened during the battle of Mactan, according to historians or to the archival documents. So this is Lapu-Lapu, and this is 875 pesos, and the code for this is Lapu-Lapu. So next, we have also from Dr. 𝗖𝗋𝗋𝗆, Interrogations in Philippine Cultural History, and this is has different articles on this interrogations in Philippine Cultural History, and this has different articles on Nick Joaquin, on Andres Bonifacio, on the Holy Child, and also about other things in Philippine and culture. So this is by Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴. These articles interrogate diverse issues in Philippine cultural history. The book ends with the author's reflections on the past 4 decades of Philippine cultural studies. So this is 580 pesos by interrogations. So next is we have the 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴 reader. So this also contains articles by Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴, and this is 1,200 pesos, and written between 1976 and 212. The articles range from a variety of topics, including Cebuano notions of personhood, space, and world, the historical formation of rural and metropolitan communities in Cebu, the symbolic dynamics of early Cebuano fiction, and the politics of nationalization. And so this is 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴, the 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴 reader. So the code for this is 𝗖𝗨, and this is 1,200 pesos. Next is another very important book by Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴. It is The Feast of the Santo Niño, an introduction of this to the history of a Cebuano devotion. So we would be able to trace here the pre-colonial worship of Cebuanos. So how our ancestors worship through their dance and through their bodies. And so this is in this book, The Feast of the Santo Niño. So this is 470 pesos, and the code for this is Santo Niño. So now we would like to show you an excerpt of a video that we made tracing the Sinulog, the roots of the Sinulog. So this video is produced by Pamgas, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, and created by Social Communications Asia, Prospero Lapot, and we went to Sulu, as far as Sulu, to trace the roots of the Sinulog dance. So please watch this, only an excerpt of this video.
Sinulog is a fiesta celebrating the Santo Niño of Cebu. People come to the city to pray, light candles, and dance to honor and ask favors from the baby Jesus. Long time ago, Cebu was populated by pagans, people who didn't believe in one God, but they believed in many things from whom they asked favors, to heal the sick, for rain, to have good harvest, and so on. One day, visitors, mostly from Spain, came, baptized, and gave them Christian names, and introduced them to the Señor Santo Niño. They possibly loved the baby Jesus so much that Juana, the wife of Cebu's chief, asked the visitors if they could keep the image. But that's all we know, because shortly after, the visitors got killed in Mactan. The survivors and their scribe sailed away. After 44 years, the Spaniards came back. They decided to stay for 300 years and built churches alongside military outposts and civil government houses. And they converted the pagans into Catholics. Since then, the Santo Niño became popular with all the tales of the baby Jesus' miracles to heal the sick and heed the prayers of believers. Today, believers and tourists alike come to celebrate and honor the Santo Niño with prayers and dances we now know as Sinulog. The Sinulog, as a big festival in Cebu, only began in the 1980s, but the practice of Sinulog dance prayer had been performed earlier than that.
Viva,
According to national artist and historian 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴, the Sinulog word as a dance in Cebu appeared in the contemporary Cebuano dictionary only in the last century. A 17th century Cebuano dictionary referred to Sinulog's root word sulug to mean water current or the island of Sulu. It also defines Sinulog as a Tausug woman's dress. The Tausug are the native people of Sulu.
If any Tausug can hear the word Sinulog, they can easily relate to it because it sounds very familiar to their everyday usage of the word, you know. We have a Tausug word sulug, which means current. We have a word, for example, siulug, which means to wear.
Professor Darwin Absari of the University of the Philippines Institute of Islamic Studies writes about the history of Sulu. He speaks from the old trading landmark, the Chinese pier in Holo, Sulu.
From 1200 to 1450, Sulu became the economic zone in the international sea trade. Products coming from outside, Java, before it will be brought to other parts of the country, it will first arrive here in this place.
The influence of Sulu in the Visayas ran through the trading routes and principalities the Sultanate established in the western islands of the Philippines. The spread of cultures and practices accompanied the trade linkages across settlements in the Old World. Cebuano anthropologist and social historian Professor 𝗗𝗴𝗹𝗶𝗱𝗿 examined the writings of Antonio Pigafetta. Pigafetta accompanied Ferdinand Magellan, who represented Spain in talks with Cebu chief 𝗗RAHA in the 1500s.
𝗯𝗴𝗱𝗶𝗿 had an advisor who was a Muslim. He is mentioned in Pigafetta. It is clear in Pigafetta that Enrique de Malacca talked with a Mohammedan. He's described as Mohammedan, who was in the court of 𝗯𝗡𝗡.
The presence of a Muslim holding a high position in the court of 𝗯𝗡𝗡 validates the map showing Panay Island as a principality of the Sultanate of Sulu. The 1500s map indicates that Cebu belonged to the region under the influence of the Sultanate. The strength of the Sulu influence in the Visayas was further confirmed when the word sinulog found its way in the 1890s accounts of Felix Laureano. Laureano cites sinulog as the name of a fiesta dance in Panay Island depicting a battle between the Moro and the Christian.
And there he says that sinulog is a very ancient form of competition or of jousting that comes from the Holowanos. And he says, but he saw this in Haro, Iloilo, being performed during a town fiesta.
Jolo is the capital of the Sulu Sultanate.
So therefore, you have a contextual source, which is further than the one we see today, the Sinulog, which as a festival, which began in the 1980s.
Daghang salamat. So the full video of that is at Pamgras the Cebu Heritage Hotel YouTube channel. So it's Sinulog, the Sulu roots. So we showed that because we showed you the feast of the Santo Niño. This is by Risil Mujares, 470 pesos. And also this is also a new book at our basahanan. We have Santo Niño de Cebu, 1565 to 2015. This is by an Agustinian, Father Pedro Galendi OSA. So this book is also from the point of view of the Agustinians who brought the Santo Niño to our islands. So this is 620 pesos. So this also traces about the landmark, the Magellan's Cross, discussing is it really the cross there of Magellan? Was the cross of Magellan destroyed, or is the real cross of Magellan there in that kiosk? So this is the Father Galendi has insights about that. So he mentions here he traces the Santo Niño de Cebu from 1565 to 2015, and this is 620 pesos, and this is Santo Niño de Cebu. The other one is only Santo Niño or the feast. This is Galende, Santo Niño, 620 pesos. And so we have also this, we would also like you to know that we have also this very important book. This is really a very good reference if you want to know about Dagami, warrior Dagami, and also how our ancestors resisted the colonization, that's the Spanish colonization and occupation. So this is just the volume 1, the initial encounter, 𝗍𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴. I first read this book when Dr. Jobers Reynes Bersales gave this book to me as a gift. So whenever we write about the gummy and what the gummy did, and also how our ancestors resisted the Spaniards. So this is the book. This is 𝗍𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴 Jr., A History of Christianity in the Philippines. So he traces the pre-colonial religion until 1571, occupation of Spain in Manila. So this is the initial encounter, history of Christianity in the Philippines, volume 1. And this is just 299 pesos. So this is 299 pesos, but it tells us so much about what our ancestors did with in the initial encounter with the Europeans. So now I would show you one more book by Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗴𝗃, and this is The War Against the Americans. So this is The War Against the Americans. So this is a story. This is the resistance and collaboration in Cebu from 1899 to 1906, and this is really a it is very well written, and we would be this is a very engaging story of the facts about how the Cebuanos resisted and collaborated in the struggle against the Americans. So this is 625 pesos, American 625. And the last book is by Dr. 𝗍𝗪𝗓 that he would show you is this book on Vicente Soto, the maverick senator. Vicente Soto, of course, Vicente Soto was a lawyer, a senator, a literary artist. He was a playwright. He showed, he produced, and he wrote and he produced this plays at the Teatro Junquera, at the first theater of Cebu. And according to Dr. 𝗍𝗪𝗓, his plays were the first to be the first Cebuano plays, because in the past the plays were in Spanish. So he was the one who first produced this plays, this theater plays, stage play in Cebuano, and it was patronized by all classes in Cebuano society, from the elite to the workers, according to Dr. 𝗍𝗪𝗓. So this is Vicente Soto, and this is 700 pesos. He is the father of modern Cebuano culture. 700 pesos. So now we would go to the points. So we would now read, we would now hear also, we would now have our poets, Jay Magdadaro and Ton Dapusala, read to us the poems by Vicente Butch Bandillo. So Butch Bandillo is one of these poets looked up to by the current generation of poets. So we have this book, Damgo og Alimungaw. Wala pa ni. So we will just show you the books by Vicente Bandillo, and you would read one poem from one of his books. So this is Damgo og Alimungaw, and this is Damgo, 350 pesos, by Vicente Butch Bandillo. We have Earth Alive, Moon Eternal, and this is 325 pesos, and this has English poems. This is one of his earliest poetry collections. And we have also Musimus Mismo. This is also 325 pesos. This is illustrated by Joshua Cabrera, right? And the book cover. And also we have this Chinelas nga nalubong sa Danau, 325 pesos. Chinelas, 325 pesos. And Chinelas nga nalubong sa Danau, it's the sleepers that is buried in the puddle. I don't know if I'm the sleeper that is buried in the puddle. Nakita ninyo ang tsinelas na lubong sa danaw? Wa ko kita sa tsinelas. wala sa cover. So we have also this book in 3 languages, English, Cebuano, and also in Bangladeshi. So this is the Book of Departures. And Jay would read one of the poems in 𝗶𝗴𝗱𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀's poetry collection.
Ang kanunay malimtan sa nahigugma. Kaniya nga nahiagom na sa unang kamatayon, walay si kinsang makapasipala. Ang langit musarasay, apan dili sa kahangturan. Ang kahapdos nga giluom sa haguka nga halwa sa kasing-kasing, mudagayday, luwan sa kahilom, pidpid sa kawayanan, paingon sa baba sa sapa, sa banag-banag.
What any lover forgets. Whoever suffers a first death, no one can hurt anymore. Heaven reels, but not forever. The acne, confined in the fragile cage of the heart, will flow down with the silence, past the bamboo thickets, into the estuary of dawn.
Daghang salamat. So that poem is entitled What Any Lover Forgets, or Ang Kanunay Malimtan sa Nigugma. Unsa kuno to? What is it that what is it that any lover forgets? What's the answer to that question? What any lover? Ang kanunay malimtan sa nahigugma. Kamo sa mga those watching us, what do lovers forget? Sa magkulo. Unsa answer ato? Ang nalimtan, unsa ba diha? Ang kahapdos apan dili ang kaniya nga nahiagom sa uno walay si kinsang makapasipala. Ang langit mo sarasay apan dili sa kangturan. Ang kahapdos nga giluom sa haguka nga halwa sa kasing-kasing mudagayday. Wala, di ta kahibaw. So kanang the answer is it depends on the one who reads the poem. So you would be able to interpret this based from your experience. So I remember this poem of very short poem of 𝗶𝗴𝗱𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. And I saw it featured by one of the students of Don. Katong sa kada kanang sa katong buhok ba nga gi. Oo, sige. Sa ganito?
Kadaliko sa lastiko, sa labong mong buhok, nag-anam kahot ang akong kasing-kasing.
Oo. Sa kada sa
I believe nasa book nga damgo galimungaw.
So while she fixes ang English ana is
Wala wato siya English translation. Murag ang first version niya kay English title niya Bisaya din iya din gi full blown Bisaya na din sa title.
Yes. So ang kuan na is unsa to? When when we interpret it, while the girl fixes her hair,
when the girl fixes her ponytail, the one who was observing the girl, her heart will tighten.
His heart constricts as the girl fixes the rubber band on her ponytail. So while the ponytail rubber band tightens, his heart also constricts, tightens with the rubber band.
Yes.
Something like that.
So that's the poetry of 𝗶𝗴𝗱𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. So we have about 4 or 5 poetry collections, 5 poetry collections by 𝗶𝗴𝗱𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 here. So we also would like to show you these books by from the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. So these are also new books at Palmgrass Basahanan ni Lumaya. So this is by Fernando Oliveira. This is The Voyage of Ferdinand Magellan. So actually, it's very hard to get hold of the books at NHCP, but we thank the NHCP for providing us this book. So this is Fernando Oliveira, The Voyage of Ferdinand Magellan, and this is 420 pesos. This is translated from the original Portuguese manuscript. So this is in the fifth. This is Yes. And also, there is this book, 1521. 1521 Revisited, volumes 1 and 2. So, it's not here. So, we have the 1521 Revisited, volumes 1 and 2, 420 pesos. So, we are not able to show you, but so it's not here yet with me, but we have it. So it's 1521. And we also have the arrivals, conflict, and transformation in maritime in Southeast Asia. So arrivals, 910 pesos. And also, Pigafetta's Philippine Picnic, Pigafetta. This is it is what the Spaniards saw, what food did they eat when they came to the Philippines in 1521, and this is 350 pesos. And we also have World War II books, remembering World War II volumes 1 and 2. The volume 1 is 299 pesos and volume 2 is 399 pesos. And this is the voyage of, is this the voyage of Ferdinand Magellan? So this is the voyage of Ferdinand Magellan, 450 pesos. So now we would like to show you this book, the short story. Is it there? Well, not there. The stories award-winning Palangka awardee, January Yap. So we have here his stories in Matag Adlaw. So this is 780 pesos. So this is in Cebuano. These are stories Matag Adlaw. So according to Vicente Butch Bandillo, January Yap has been a reluctant muse of letters for well over 2 decades now, acknowledged by peers and elders as one of the best writers of his generation. So this is Matag Adlaw by January Yap, and also another novel, and this is a novel by January Yap, 715 pesos. This is Archipelago. So this is these are from January Yap. Archipelago and Matag Adlaw. So we have also this book by Dr. Michael Cullinane. So we have this book by Dr. Michael Cullinane, The Battle for Cebu. So Dr. Michael Cullinane has written many books about Cebu history, one of which is The Arenas of Conspiracy and Rebellion in the Late 19th Century Philippines. And this is, how much is this? It's not in my script. So Arenas of Conspiracy and Rebellion in 710 pesos, and this has the bio sketches of the 300 leaders of the Cebu Revolution against Spain. So it also tells us about the social classes, and then the educational attainment of the leaders of the Cebu Revolution against Spain. So this is the case of the 1898 uprising in Cebu. So, and also we have this book by Dr. Michael Cullinane, The Battle for Cebu. The Battle for Cebu, also about the 1899-1900 war against the battle against the Americans, the Siege of Sudlon. So this has the documents of the Americans and also the reports of the Cebu revolutionaries who fought against the Americans. So this has the two versions of the report, what happened in the battle in the Siege of Sudlon, according to the Cebuano revolutionaries and also according to the Americans. So how the Americans destroyed the fortifications in Sudlon, it is here. So at first they defended this camp, the headquarters of the Cebu revolutionaries, their headquarters in the struggle against Spain and also against the Americans. So we would like to show you this an excerpt of this video about one of these fierce, the brave generals of the Cebu Revolution against Spain, General 𝗓𝗃𝗃. So, and this is a video made by our multimedia team here at PAMGRAS. So this is another youth-created video made by the technical team at PAMGRAS, the multimedia team at PAMGRAS, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So this is the last man standing. So only a few minutes of this. The last man standing.
Si 𝗓𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 ang usagid sa pinakadugay na ni surrender sa gubat, no. Daghanan ka na mga leader sa anti-Spanish nga war before that nga murag mas nauna sa pag-surrender, pero lahi si Maxilom kay medyo dugay gid sa ni surrender, no. So niaway gid sa kontra sa mga Amerikano, no?
It starts with an increasingly important town on the northwest coast of Cebu. Many people are competing for the land in that area, and the most prominent landowners in Tuburan were the Maxilom family and the Tabutabu family. These two families are now connected, and that Fausto Tabutabu, the contrabida of Arcadio Maxilom, they're actually stepbrothers. What brought Arcadio to Cebu City and to San Nicolas. And that was, of course, after the Tabutabu family began to take over the politics of Tuburan.
Tabutabu Fausto accused him, slandered him of being head of one of the terrorists of the Katipunan in Manila. He decided to leave his family and move to San Nicolas.
Maxilom's educational level was much less. We realized that he worked closely with the parish priest of Tuburan, a man named Father Mauricio Esmero. Esmero was very influential in teaching Spanish to Arcadio Maxilom. So he was educated locally. He is a leader from the town of Tuburan who comes to the city of Cebu towards the end of the 19th century. And in San Nicolas is where he met many of the people who were later involved in Angkagubot sa Sugbo in April of 1898. He lived there. He met and worked with Luis Flores, Candido Padilla, all of the major leaders of the Angkagubot in April of 1898. In that spot where he became and emerged as a leader.
Si Arcadio was a natural leader. Kanang magdula ang mga bata, silang mga bata, mo-organize dayon na siya.
Spanish Guardia Civil occupied Tuburan. He observed tyrannous abuses from the Guardia Civil to the extent of molesting women.
Arcadio, he was a very brave general. Pero pag abot na gani sa family life, pag abot na sa asawa, mahadlok na siya. He was considered under the saya.
He continued his march to the town of Tuburan together with 30 people. He entered the town and warned the civil guards, surrendered without shedding blood. However, on April 15, the steamers 𝗶𝗶𝗃 and 𝗏𝗏𝗃 arrived, and the Battle of Tuburan began. This lasted for 8 hours, from 5:30 in the morning until 1 a.m. And his brothers, cousin, and nephews died. This combat left the town deserted And because of the anger of the cazadores, they burned the entire town, but they saved the church, the convent, and the kamarin of Pausto, Tabo-Tabo.
General Arcadio Maxelom and other Tuburanons encamped at the mountain of Anihaw after the Battle of Tuburan against Spanish forces in mid-April 1898. The mountain, which is now known as Bateria, also became one of Maxelom's camps in the war against the Americans.
Daghang salamat for that video, also created by the multimedia team at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. It's a DIY video, do-it-yourself video by the Palmgrass team. So of course we would continue that in that video. So we have seen the references were from Michael Colonaine's book, and also from the arenas of conspiracy and rebellion. So we would now continue to the war. If there's war against the Americans in Cebu, there is also a war against. So this is a new book at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, Basahanan. This is the Balangiga Conflict Revisited by Dr. Rolando Burinaga. So we know the Balangiga massacre, and this is a very important event in our history of how the people of Balangiga fought against the Americans, how they massacred the Americans, and in turn the Americans also massacred the people of Balangiga, and they killed those 10-year-old and above after the Balangiga massacre, because the people of Balangiga were able in this battle of Balangiga, and then the Americans took the bells where the bells that were rung to signal the attack against the Americans. So this is 540 pesos. We had a discussion of this sa Pula sa Puti last year with Dr. Rolando Borinaga, also Marbs Bascon, and also Dr. Rosario Asong about the battle, the war against the Americans in the Visayas. So this is 540 pesos Balangiga by Dr. Rolando Borinaga. And also we continue to the war against Japan. So this is by Colonel Manuel Segura, and this tells about the battles of the Cebuanos, the Cebu guerrillas in World War II. And according to history, the Cebuano guerrillas were one of the fiercest guerrillas in Asia who fought against the Japanese. So this is 745 pesos. This is Tabunan, 745 pesos. We also have this book, The War in Cebu. So The War in Cebu, this is by Dr. Risil Moha, edited and written by Dr. Risil Mojares, Taylor Avila, Cola Maria Bersales, and this is a coffee table book, The War in Cebu, with very beautiful pictures of the war in Cebu against Japan, and this is 3,360 pesos. This is The War in Cebu. So Dr. Jobers Bersanes also edited this book, Integración and Internación. This has maps and illustrations, the urbanization in Cebu in the archival records of the Spanish colonial period. And this is 3,360 pesos by Dr. Jobers Reyes Bersales. Integración. So we showed this last time when we had our discussion on Rizal Loves Cebu, because even if this discusses Cebu, it also contains an illustration of a fortification in the Pitan, which is a city now. Thank you to the curator of the National Historical Commission, Museos ni Rizal sa Dapitan, Miss Sophia, for watching this live Libro Fest right now. Daghang salamat. So this is Integración and Internación, 3,360 pesos. And also, Dr. Jobers Reyes Bersales with Ino Manalo. Ino Manalo has wrote the foreword for this, the genealogy, Philippine genealogy and religious and art history. And this is the Luciano P.R. Santiago reader. This has photos of and descriptions and wala day photos. So this is the Philippine genealogy by Luciano P.R. Santiago, edited by Dr. Jobers Reyes Bersales, and this is genealogy 1,169 pesos. And wala wa pa ko mahubad. So this is if you have questions, by the way, according to in that poem that they read about what any lover forgets, kung unsay malimtan sa nahigugma, what any lover forgets, the answer of Tina, is this Tina? Tina Solon Robinos, the answer is makalimot silag ingon I love you. Ay. So, according to Tina, the answer to that poem of what any lover forgets, he or she, the lover, would forget to say I love you. Is that true? We ask the lovers, do you forget to say I love you? Di ba according also to that other poem, nganong nahigugma ka na, you don't ask why you love, but you tell I love you. Pautanon dayon. Sige, the answer, say answer adto. Do you forget to say I love you? Speechless. Secret. Jay, what's the answer? Does he forget to say I love you?
He forget dates.
Ang dates di ay ang ma-forget. But
more like
is forgetting, does it mean that if he forgets, it doesn't mean that he forgot to say I love you in forgetting the date?
That means he's checking papers.
Busy sa work.
Trabaho din.
Busy.
Namugas.
Busy.
Nako sa Czech Republic.
Nanginabuhi. Nanginabuhi para mabuhi. Nalimtan ang I love you. So that's the answer from Tina. They forget to say I love you. Thank you to batchmate Rosife. See you on our batch reunion this August. Thank you for watching, and also to Cebu martial artist, Arnis martial artist, Celestino Macature. Thank you for joining and watching this, looking at these books with us. So we have also this another very important book in our history. This is the Baxter Codex. It tells about what the Spaniards, the Europeans, saw in our islands in their exploration in 16th century. So their observation and their analysis of what our islands are, what they saw in our islands. So these mentions also the culture, the fashion that they saw, the tattoos. This mentions also the tattoos, the musical instruments, and even the illustration of the sex gadgets. Adult content na taani. So they illustrated here actually. So there are illustrations of what they saw as the photos. I mean the illustrations of the attires of the clothing of our pre-colonial ancestors, and also this also has a description of the sex gadgets and even the birds and sex gadgets. Very important kay balik-balik ang sex gadgets, no? Sex gadgets. And how they describe those the courtship and also the marriage in pre-colonial times is very interesting, because for 300 years we did not know, for 300 years it is being erased. It was erased by the Spaniards, and now we have discovered how powerful the women were in pre-colonial times. And also, so aside from the Bokcher Codex, we have this from William Henry Scott. This is just 595 pesos, the pre-Hispanic source materials. And William Henry Scott also wrote about the barangay in pre-colonial times, or upon what they saw upon Spanish occupation. So we would like to show you a very short video of how we traced, the pre-colonial music, the indigenous musical instruments that we still have right now that was used in pre-colonial times. Stay tuned for the so many poems, the poetry reading section, the so many poems, about 10 poems, 15 poems that Jay and Ton would read in a while. So this is the Kubing and Higalong.
The kubing maker played the kubing after he made it. O pa kay baw at na time ba nga na secret messages and kubing playing at that time I did not know yet. I'm sure he did not ask me to go to the river with him or to go to the lake. So according to our heritage consultants, if we want to know the arts and culture of pre-colonial Visayas or ancient Visayas, we just have to look at the way of life and the arts and culture of the indigenous communities in Mindanao right now. So Lake Cebu is the home of the ethnic group Tibuli. We were so amazed that they made serious efforts to preserve their indigenous crafts, their traditional loom weaving of tinalak, brass casting of jewelries and ornaments, and crafting of native instruments such as kumbing and higalong. We wanted to see how a kubing was made, so we were led to the outskirts of Lake Cebu, and we found the kumbing maker in a house where the mother was also sewing a dress with native design. So the Tibulis kumbing is kubing in Maranao. So in 1521, chronicler Pigafetta, who was with Ferdinand Magellan, he referred to it as subing. Religious missionary Father Francisco Alcina described the subing as the musical instrument par excellence, as lovers would communicate secretly through playing the instrument. Dunay panahon nga giban ni siya sa usa ka ethnic community tungod kay ni-interfere siya sa mga arranged marriages nga gihimo sa mga elders.
Sanggungalo mare bel menetu dumum se de filanga lagi kem gamilin.
To Alcina, he said that the Visayans or the Bisaya are a joyful people. Comes from the word saya. They use musical instruments. They always sing, and when they express also their love, their affection for someone, they also use music.
The
Tibuli Higalong player, Elma, composed her song drawing from her experience of falling in love when she was still 15 years old. The song was filled with longing for the object of her affection, whom she describes as very good looking in all angles, and he has a pointed nose. And most of all, he is hardworking, a trait that is very important for the indigenous people. She wanted very much to be with Filinon.
Wala gid sa mahimo. Kaya ang lalaki na asawa sa Filimon siya na bana.
Kanta na lang hasta.
So what have I learned from these heritage trips? I saw that indigenous peoples that are struggling in trying to continue the crafts. So they are wondering if the younger generation will be following their footsteps. So with the little things that we have done and the little things that we can do, we are looking at the whole community, especially the younger generation, to continue working together and supporting one another in promoting our heritage in learning about our history and to be proud of our roots.
Kahang salamat for that video created by Social Communications Asia, produced by Pamgar sa Cebu Heritage Hotel. And of course, we have here a part of our heritage, the Kubing, the Subin. So you have seen those books, Dictionary of Visayan Arts and Barangay. It is available at our Pamgar's Basahanan. You can have it. There is a free reading. When you come to Pamgar's, you can read those books and you can also order those books. So we have this is 110 pesos. So our brother Tibuli made this, like he even draw a palm grass design on the using charcoal. Dito sa when we showed him the logo of palm grass and he made it here in the bamboo. So this is the Kubing in Tibuli. It has many names. And so the two-string glutes. So we have here also, this is the higalong of the Tibuli. So we would be discussing more about this, the string instruments of the indigenous peoples in pre-colonial times, also the guitar. We would be discussing this in Kaskas on July 28th. Stay tuned. How much is this? This is 1,230 pesos. Nagi 30. Sumpakapin. So this is so those are the musical instruments available at Sinugatan. Gifts from Cebu. So karon di na ta maglangan. We would hear again the poems. So first we would have this book, Sinugang. So this is by the women in the women poets of Cebu. This is by Esther Tapia, Dr. Erlinda Alburo, and Corazon Almirino. Sinugang, 715 pesos. So sinugang is actually sugangan. It's usagay na sugangan? It's where you cook. So in sinugang, like 3 stones, when you cook food in a cooking pot or a clay pot, you put it in a sugangan. There are 3 stones or 3 something. You put the pot on top of it. So sinugang, it's triangular. So it's sugangan. Sinugang, it's 3, made of 3. So this is pwede alahi sa day nang sa maglubok no kay asod man na. Duha ka buok mag-asod. Pwede man tulo. Asod gihapon kon tulo. Di kay balonig lubok ning mga ang mga Gen Z diri og millennials di kabalo og maglubok nga tulo ka buok. So we have Jay Anton to read to us some excerpts from the book Sinugang, a Cebuano trio.
So, I'll be reading Tubag sa Manananggal, Humanhukmi sa Ginoo. Sige Lord, ibutang ko sa impyerno. Sunuga ang akong lawas ug mga pako. Pero sa dili pa ko nimo isugba, paminawas ako. Manananggal bitaw ko. Ini gabi dili ko makadulog sa akong bana kay mamalbal man ko. Inig buntag, dili ko makahugas sa mga plato. Dili ko makalaba. Dili sab ko makaluto kay mamawi ko sa akong tulog. Tamis ra ba kaayo ang akong pagkahinanok kay layo ang kabot sa akong mga pako. Walay manghulga nako og asin o abo. Walay holy water nga molimpyo sa akong lawas. Lami kaayo ang mga tao ug tanan kabahin nila. Lami kaayo. Kana bang kagumkum, aslum-aslum, parat-parat, tamis. Manananggal bitaw ko Lord, akong mga pako makakabot og mga bituon. Akong dila, mutila sa kinahiladmang dapit.
Okay. So the English translation, is there an English translation? Yes.
Judgment. Go ahead, Lord. Put me in hell. Burn my body and my wings, but before you roast me, hear me out. A manananggal is what I am. At night, I cannot sleep with my husband because I roam. In the morning, I cannot wash the dishes. I cannot do the laundry. I also cannot cook, for I need to catch up on my sleep. So sweetly do I slumber. Such far distances do my wings reach. Nothing threatens me, neither salt nor ash. No holy water cleanses my body. People are so delicious in all their body parts, so tasty, crunchy, sort of sour, slightly salty, sweet. I am a mananga, Lord. My wings can touch the stars. My tongue can lick the nethermost regions.
Salamat for that. So manananggal is a creature, a mythical creature, which who can detach the upper part of her body, and so she can lick and she can, what else can she do? so so that's sinugang. What is that from Cora? Corazon Almirino. So murag nagbasa gyud ko no sa libro sa mga poems. So that's a poem by Corazon Almirino, and 715 pesos. This is sinugang. So these are very beautiful poems from 3 women poets in Cebu. So next we would have sa di na gyud sa di na mapugnan, we will have this. By the way, thank you to Sophia, Miss Sophia, curator of the Shrine City of the good afternoon, watching from the Pitan City, the Shrine City of the Pitan. I mean of the Philippines. And we would also like to say maayong hapon hi to the best half, the better half of the multi-awarded poet Adonis Dorado Teresita Dorado, watching from Ohio. Daghang salamat Ning for watching, and also Rosifi says hi. So so now we have this poem, a poetry collection. This is by Ton Dapusala, our poet here. This is your first poetry collection published. So this is basa is wet and basa is read. So when you read this, when you read this, you get wet. So basa, I don't know if that's really the reason for the title, but that's how I interpreted it. Basa, when you read this, you get wet, right? You get drenched because you get sweaty from the very powerful poems. So this is 385 pesos, basa. So we will have Ton here read his poem.
So sa po akong basahon, yuluhang makina. Namatay ang makina ining bao sa pagtungas sa bungtod sa tagwanaw. Halos wala ko'y madunggan nga tingog gawas sa panghagho sa imong kasubo. Samtang nagtulo akong singot sa pagtunob sa gasolinador, mitutok lang ka sa ukbang hapon ug nasaksihan kong nahiusa ka sa kinaiyahan. Miagos ang mga yamog sa walog sa imong dughan nga gadutdot sa akong hunahuna. Gigitik akong buot sa imong inagulo samtang nagdulit ang init sa akong kahilom. Nagduka na lang ang salumsom, gapadayon lang gyapon kung kubi o giyawi, taman sa nahawoy na akong paglimbasog ug buhi ining payaong bao. Nagtan-aw na lang ko sa suba nga naghagana sa tagwanaw. Ug kalit na uyog ang palibot, dihang mibatog ang imong kamot sa akong paa. Kini mikamang, ug mikamang. Nasindulan ang kambyada, nabuhi ang makina.
Maraming salamat. So, for our non-Cebuano speaking, may you tell us about what is that poem about?
Well, siguro ko na lang just a poetics of the just a poetics or the creative process of that particular piece. Most of the pieces here are coming from kaning mga eavesdrops o mga chismis sa mga ubang kuan.
Marites na.
So kani siya gikan ni sa akong kuan amiga nga teacher nga nag usa sa iyang mga experiences nga kanang paglibot sa Cagayan de Oro kay gitisting niya iyang tayang bao nga mo saka sa kuan sa kanang sa bakilid sa Tagwanaw, which is a very kanang kuan for this region sa for at least nasa kuan sa outskirts sa kuan sa city mismo sa Cagayan de Oro. And wala lang ni nilingaw lang ko noon na og ipugos ni mong bao, which is kanang beetle nga kon Volkswagen nga ipasaka nimo sa kon, di siya built for that nga unta nga kon. And so I created a scenario wherein a piece, it's a martial romantic suggestive love gesture, love scenario nga nasa kon. So with all the innuendos, I think I leave the readers to find out unsa na, especially sa kambyada nga part.
Grabe sad. Unsaan pagkambyo? Nga unsaon pagkambyo kanang maglisod ka kay saka ka sa ang imong makina kay hinay.
Tayaon naman.
Tayaon niya mo kambyada pa yun ka. So lisod kayo. So love is hard. so mao na siya na, so you should get hold of this book, Basa. This is just 385 pesos. So this is by 𝗠ป์𝗴𝗱𝗶, our poet here with us right now. So we would like to show you this book. Also, this is by Dr. Hope Sabanpanyu. She is the Cebuano Study Center, and she is an editor of so many books by Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶, and she has co-authored so many books also on Cebu history and literature. And this is institutionalizing motherhood in Cebuano literature. So this examines the socio-historical account of the institutionalizing of motherhood from pre-colonial up to contemporary period in the Philippines. It explains the changing cultural and social values in the notions of motherhood that contributed to the entrenchment of the ideal, the maayong inahan, the good mother. It also elucidates on prevailing maternal discourses in order to explain the changes in cultural status and functions of motherhood. So Dr. Hope Sabanpanyu will be with us on August 19 for the Women in Literary Arts event. So this is a literary event with women poets in Cebu. So stay tuned on August 19, and on August 12 we will have Adonis Dorado in conversations about you know what was the first title that Adonis was thinking about? What should be the title about these conversations, and what triggers the creative juices to flow? Ang first year gisulti nga title, how about aton title kay Gigawsan ako. Punang Gigawsan. So only the Visayans would know what is Gigawsan. It's how the creative juices would be released. So now let's think it over again. So what should be? Does Neneng agree that the title should be Gigawsan? So next, we have this poetry collection also by one of the women poets in Cebu, and this is The Winter Lady. The Winter Lady by Malo Aloro. Malo Aloro was one of our editors of the script of the 𝗠tože play that o Bagong Teatro Hongkera. So Malo's poetry collection, The Winter Lady, is 350 pesos. So Jay would read one of her poems.
This is an excerpt. So breathe in and out, in and out. What memories will haunt me? What images will keep? Breathe in and out, in and out. I will feel the touch of air and shadows. I will hear the whisper of rain, hear the beat of my heart, feel my heart's love for you. Breathe in and out, in and out. In a moment to another, I learn to motion into longing. I breathe in and out, in and out. Feel your touch as I soar and whisper, I love you.
Maraming salamat for that poem read by Jay. So there are sensual poems in this collection, the Winter Lady. So it's about falling in love and falling out of love. So this is about women who love those men in snowy countries, and then when they are left behind, their hearts also turned into ice. They became winter ladies when these men would leave them. Bugnaw na kaayo, gahi na kailang heart na nabugnaw na sad na ice ilang gibiyaan sila, so they were left behind by these men in snowy countries, and so the heart becomes icy becomes they become winter ladies. So this is 350 pesos, winter ladies. So we have this poetry collection also by the women in literary arts, feminist. So who would read this? Si Ton? So the poem by women is read by a man. So this is one of the poems is by Ana Monique. Ayan ba sa? Ana Carla Gonzalez, entitled Rain.
So these are just very short pieces, so I'll just read two of them. So, rain. You are like rain to a parched plant in the desert. Now you are gone. It is never the same. And then the next piece, Nocturne at 2 a.m. If the words my pen write mean nothing to you, I will allow the low breath of the night wind to pass me by and let you go.
Yes.
It.
So it's very sad. It's a is it a sad poem? You are you are like the rain to a parched plant. So this is now you are gone. So it's a sad. Those are sad poems. So sadness would really trigger you to write a poem, right? And also happiness.
Yeah.
Both.
Any
of those feelings.
It would make gawas the kuan. You would
creative.
become your muse, your sadness and your happiness. So the other poem is still sad. Katong usa.
Nocturne.
Nocturne at 2 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another poem here, another poetry collection by another woman poet in Cebu. So that feminist is 390 pesos, and there are so many women authors here. The poets here are I forgot to count. So there are about 200. These are 200 pages of poetry from different authors from the women in literary arts. So 390 pesos. And we have also this book by a former also Bathalad president. This is by Carla Kimsing. And this is 310 pesos, Pansit Poetry. And Jay would read one of the poems here.
Ang raid. August 17, Biyernes. Namurag-muragan ako sa nagadaguob nga panuktok sa puwertahan sa akong kwarto. Naglabog ang akong espiritu sang nakita ko ang mga pulis nga daw mga tawo. Narkom ni, guwa! Gindukol ako sang isakag, nagdalagan ko sa tupad ni mama. Nagakulurog siya kag nagakawad-an, ginhawa sang wawaw samtang ginapusasan nila si Manong. Wala gid mapunggan sang iya mga luha. Ang pagdakop kay Manong. Nalipong si mama. Ginhakwat ko siya pasulod sa akon nagbaliskat nga kwarto. Manawag ko tani kay mangayo ko bulig pero hindi ko na makita ang akon cellphone. Wala naman sa hunos-hunos ang akon relo kag shades. Ang ginpadala ni Papa halin sa Saudi. So ang pansit poetry naapa ni siya hiligay nun so ang akong gibasa kayang hiligay nun na version sa ang read.
Yes, so it's a poem describing what she experienced in a raid. Is it Tukang? That's
No.
before Tukang.
Way before. This is
Huh?
actually way
That's-
before.
That's way before. So that's there are also love poems there in Pansit poetry and also experiences of I don't know the muses also of Carla maybe. And so now we would like to show you this book by one of the poets in the renowned poets in Cebu, former judge Dumdum, and of course this the did you know that the cover of this is created, I mean, it's designed by the daughter of poet Adonis Dorado, Yana Dorado. So Aimless Walk, Faithful River. Aimless Walk, Faithful River by Simeon Dumdum, and his poems are in English. So Ton would read one of the poems here.
Excuse me. So this is The Poet Learns to Dance by Simeon Dumdum. The poet learns to dance, or the dancer learns to write a poem. Let your hand rest like a bird on my left hip. Let your mind rest where it is cool and quiet. With your left, hold my right hand at this height. With your lips, let the words roll out and skip. So move your foot with mine for just a snip. So catch that word flying away. It's right. Relax. Your hold on me should not be tight. Relax. The images have their own script. Now turn as if to accept and decline. Now use a rhyme and do your best to keep it. At times, the swaying makes you feel bourgeois. At times, words sends a tingle down your spine. It looks as if I am writing a sonnet. It feels as if I am dancing the cha-cha.
Daghang salamat for that poem by Simeon Dumdum, read by Ton. So this is aimless walk, faithful river, 500 pesos. This is by poet and former judge Simeon Dumdum. So next is I would like to show you this book by Dr. Rolando Burinaga, and this is Surat Binisaya, Deciphering Ancient Visayan Writing and Language. So you would see here a ritual pot. So it is found out. So in one of our conversations, our heritage events here at Pamgras, Dr. Rolando Burinaga shared with us that in his research, during the rituals in pre-colonial times, the Babaylanes would write on the pots some prayer. So that's how the artifacts that they're found, like pot shards and pots, contained inscriptions of the Visayan language, so the Visayan writing. So the ancient Visayan writing is Surat Binisaya, and it is in the pots by the Babaylanes. And according also to Dr. Rolando Burinaga, even those potsherds in Luzon also were in Binisaya. So his theory is that the language of prayer in pre-colonial times was Binisaya. When now the language of prayer is Latin in the past, even the one found in Intramuros, even it was already in Roman letters, not already in Surat Binisaya, the language also was, even the potsherd found in Intramuros was still in Binisaya. So this is Surat Binisaya. This is 553 pesos. This is Surat Binisaya. So also we have this book here at Palmgrass, written by 10 Cebuano authors, 10 authors in different aspects of about the different aspects of culture. This is edited by Dr. 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶 and Dr. Hope Sabanpanyu. This is more Cebuano than we admit. And this is 1,100 pesos. And there are also poems here in Cebuano. So there are there are chapters on Cebu history or on Cebu history. There's a chapter on the religion and tradition in Cebu, and also a chapter on language, literature, and music, and Cebuano poems, and a chapter on art and film, and tourism, food, and carnival. So this is more Cebuano than we admit, aspects of Cebuano history, culture, and society by 14 authors. This is 1,100 pesos. So, and also, now we would like to hear more poems. So we have this poem by, asa itong tunob? This is Tunob sa Kahilom. So, do I have, nakoy copy sa Tunob sa Kahilom. Nara, Tunob sa Kahilom by Ernesto Amatiaga. So this is 150 pesos, and one Ton would read one poem from this collection.
Singot. Nakita ko ikaw nagtabisay sa agtang sa panahon. Naglaoy sa luwang sa mga damgo, nagikabo sa pulso sa kakugi. Usahay magtago ikaw sa nagpanghuyab kong mga takna. Nagisapnay sa mga bukton nga naminhod sa kalaay. Ug mataglusok nga mugawas sa nagdagan mong mga gutlo. Nagkahulugan og bili sa mahalon nga bulawan nga idugang pagpilot sa nagising ekonomiya nga gisapot karon sa nasod nga tabunon. Apan adunay imong inagos nga gipuga sa balibong kamot sa kahigayunan, gikumot sa mga tudlo nga giulod sa sakit nga mga mananakod nga hilom, nagtago sa mangitngit nga kagabion, ug sa nagkabugto nga ginhawa sa himalatyon nga binuhat, nagpangatagak ang imong mga mithi nga gisawod sa nagkalain-laing alinghuna, agad sa hanap ug bultong lagway sa mga lama sa imong kagahapon.
Daghang salamat for that poem by Ernesto Amatiaga, also a multi-awarded poet. He was awarded in Bathalad Sugbu 1997, Ludabi also for his story, short story, and he was also awarded in the News Time Daily in 1992 for writing awards, Sugilanon sa Gugma. He also had in Bathalad, Mindanao, annual writing awards in 1999, and so many more. So this is mga tunob sa kahilom, hugpong sa mga balak. So when you translate tunob sa kahilom, the footsteps of silence. The footsteps of silence, 150 pesos. So there is this also this poetry collection by Michael S. Florentino, and this is mga tipaka sa napusgay nga bituon, shards of a shattered star. Mga tipaka sa napusgay nga bituon, 350 pesos, and Jay will read one of the poems here.
Kamingaw. Kamingaw. Ang laom nga gabi lapad nga wanang, distansya sa bulan ug bituon. Hinay nga sitsit sa mga timos, huyuhoy sa bugnong hangin. Ako na nag-inusarang na hinanok sulod sa ngiob nga payag. So it was also translated into English, solitude, a deep night, a gaping sky, the distance of a star and the moon, the soft hiss of a cricket, the blow of cold breeze. In a shed, I alone slumbered in the dark.
Maraming salamat for that poem. He translated Kamingaw into solitude. So Mingaw, so when in Bisaya, if you say Mingaw, I miss someone. But then it also means Mingaw, the surroundings is peaceful, it's quiet, it's Mingaw. And then so that's how he translated it into solitude. So ako ang nag-inusarang nahinanok sulod sa ngiob nga payag. In I shed I alone slumbered in the dark. This mas indot yun ang Bisaya, no?
I would agree.
So distansya sa bulan ug bituon. So di ba they say when the moon is far away from the star is far away from if the star is near to the moon, that's the time that it's a good time to visit someone, to court someone, no? Di ba? Sa mga tigulang. so now we have this, I would like to show you this video, this books about our relationship with Sulu or our there is this book, this is new, this is a new book at Palmgrass, More Islamic Than We Admit. So those who have the religion Islam is just in Sulu, but also in Maguindanao and other parts in mainland and in mainland Mindanao. So we have this book, More Islamic Than We Admit. This is 840 pesos. And we also have this book, The Sulu Zone, 1768. This is from, so this More Islamic Than We Admit is edited by Isaac Donoso, Insights into Philippine Cultural History. And this book, The Sulu Zone, is by James Francis Warren. So this is one of the references in a video that we made about the baluartes, about the walls. The watchtowers are these watchtowers in. So we have this video, Beyond the Walls. We would show you some excerpts of the video that we made about the baluartes or this slave raiding in the past during the time in the Sulu and Spanish War. One historian actually described the period of Spanish colonization as the Sulu versus American War. so this is the Sulu zone. So please show the video.
In the middle of an overcrowded coastal community, located in one of the oldest and most densely populated centers in Cebu, Philippines, a peculiar structure towers over clusters of houses. Called by locals as Bantayan sa Hari, this watchtower was originally built in the 1800s as part of the defenses against the onslaught of slave raiding in those times. Throughout Cebu and in many parts of Visayas and Luzon, similar defensive structures were constructed by local inhabitants, Catholic Church leaders, and the Spanish colonial government to counter seasonal raids by seaborne Iranon and Balangay raiders. Within the period of the 18th and 19th centuries, coastal villages north and south of Sulu were constantly attacked, significantly displacing the population. In some cases, defenders burned their own villages in desperate attempts to discourage the marauding raiders from landing. There are no records to find out how many people were enslaved during this period, but most of them ended up in what writers describe as the center of slave market at that time, the Sulu archipelago, home of the Tausug. Observers noted that at the height of Sulu's external trade and slave raiding, the population of its capital, Jolo, rose by an estimated 160,000 in the year 1814, at a span of only 40 years. Slaves outnumbered the native Tausugs. Many of these slaves were from the Visayas.
I don't remember the year I was captured because I was very young. I had been traveling with my parents in a small sailboat when we were seized by pirates from several Moropangos. My father had the good fortune to escape on an island the flotilla touched at, but we were taken to 𝗠tože.
The historical prominence of baluartes speaks of the blood, toil, and heroism of villagers and church leaders defending themselves from the slave raiders. But building a defensive structure did not guarantee safety. In the Bicol region, one baluarte was overrun and looted many times over. The success of the raiders also resulted from the lack of arms and ammunition among the defenders. And even if the Manila government had heavy guns in stock, they neither wanted these traded or captured by the raiders, nor be used by insurgents, as discontent among the natives was also rising at that time. For many years, the Spanish Armada was no match to the efficiency of the sea crafts that the raiders used. With agile and maneuverable boats, the raiders would not engage the Spanish Navy and normally navigate through shallow channels. The Spanish attempts to improve the Navy were met by budgetary constraints, blunders in what ship to build, and human resource problems.
The prisoners were all kept tied until they showed no symptoms of attempting to escape. Water and rice were given to us very sparingly. Some died from hunger, some from being handcuffed, some from grief. They untied me after about a month. If prisoners were sick, so they could not pull the oar, they were thrown overboard.
We have seen an excerpt from the video, Beyond the Walls, and one of the references of that video is this book, The Sulu Zone, 1768 to 1898. This is by James Francis Warren, and this is 610 pesos. And so we also thank our video creator for that. So we would like to know that so Miss Sophia from Dapitan City is still watching. Our video creator is actually Dapitanon Prospero Lapot, also one of the founders of the Dapitan Historical Society. So we have here also this book, More Islamic Than We Admit. This is 846 pesos. So we would now like to read, to show you this book of poetry, this poetry collection by Jun Saguban. And this is Mga Yuta, isod kayo, Mga Yuta Nugilanon, Pungpung sa mga Sugilanon. So he joined so many words, words in one. So this has a meaning also. And Umar Khalid, one also of the Cebuano poets, awarded Cebuano poets, mentioned that this kining pito ka obra mao'y klarong representasyon sa hatay sa tawhanong kinayahan sigun sa panabot ni Saguban. So you would read si Ton or si Jay would read one of the poems here. Yes.
Okay. Sige, taas mo din. First paragraph. Lagong sa aping sarayna. Timing gyud akong pag-abot kay niaman si John Moon sa gamay niyang payag-payag. Nalingaw pag-ayo sa iyang pagpinta sa canvas. Kini si John Moon dili ni Amerikano. Bisdak ni og Amando de la Gente ang tinuod niyang ngalan. Sa kasilinganan og sa ilang panimalay, Mandy ang itawag niya. Pero ni adtong high school pa mi, nasugdan ang angga niyang John Moon, nga ingon pas usa nako ka classmate nga mo'y nagsugod-sugod ini nga in-Amerikano kuno Juan Luna.
Daghang salamat for that poem. What was it about, Jay, for our non-Cebuano audience?
It's actually an intro. Oh, it's actually a first paragraph sa iyang Sugilanon. Nagstorya siya about sa kanang nganong John Moon ang tawag niya sa iyang amigo nga nagpintal kuno sa canvas. So he was talking about an artist friend whose whose artist name is John Moon, because they were playing around Juan Luna kuno as someone from America. So Amerikano daw si Juan Luna.
Juan Luna,
Oo.
John Moon, translated into English, Juan and Luna.
Yeah.
So we have this poetry collection. So that's pila ganina sa at the back. It's
7 stories. So,
7
mga
story.
pungpong sa mga sugilanon,
Oh.
mga yukita nugilanon.
Sige. So it's how much is it? Wala sa akong script. So and now we have this poetry collection, Hate Eating Birds by Denver Ihem Torres. Hate Eating Birds is 360 pesos. So Jay would read one of the poems here.
Chased by this crazy cold thing. Chased by this crazy cold thing. It's New Year's Eve again, and I feel colder than usual. Could be Senyang, but I doubt if this is caused by that. Cold, indifferent visitor who just passed by to say hi. I wonder who else is chased by this crazy cold thing. Here, where I stand staring at the fireworks that appear and disappear like happiness. I see hands around me, hands locked, unaware of this cold.
Salamat for this chased by this crazy cold thing. So cold is also one of the topics, like the winter lady, and this one now is really chased by this cold thing. So after the cold, you have inalisngaw. So there is we have this poetry collection by an award-winning poet, Inalisngaw sa akong tutunlan. Wala ko'y copy diri. Namoy copy?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so it's Inalisngaw sa akong tutunlan by 𝗯●Khalid. So how much is it? Nasa likod. Wala. So Inalisngaw sa akong tutunlan, it's 500 pesos. So Ton will read one of the poems in Kining Inalisngaw sa akong tutunlan. It's by award-winning poet 𝗯●Khalid.
Check. All right. Ang tao sa punuan sa nangka sa hinablayan. Ambot kung nakaabot ba kaha sa ubang dalunggan niadtong mga panahona nga ang among di na matultulang lungsod sa hinablayan usa ka tiguang nang gungis nga banika nga nagyaka taliwa sa duha ka batuong bungtod habig sa sidlakan. Unasan sa kasadpan, minteryo sa timugan. Sa bagatan mao ang taas abugong dalan nga bugtong sumpay sa lungsod paingon sa ubang sibilisasyon. Diin pipila lamang ang nagpakaisog pagsubay gawas lang ni adtong nangitag tingusbawan.
Daghang salamat. So is it a short story or a poem?
Short story.
It is a short story by 𝗯●Khalid. So it's a book of, does he have also poetry?
For this collection, it's mga sugilanon.
Ay, mga sugilanon di ay. So it's he is an award-winning writer, 𝗯●Khalid. So it's a collection of stories, sugilanon by 𝗯●Khalid. So Inalisngaw sa akong tutunlan is it's 500 pesos. So another poetry collection is by Anthony Tan. This is Crossing the River. So 385 pesos, and Jay will read one of the poems here.
A letter about home from one exile to another. Our dreams are true, our lives are bitter lies. By Warren Carrier, young epigraph. So, that time we spoke of inhabited stars. In the glad season of swollen seas, we were young. We thought we too must have a place, not in those remote, burn-out stars, but here in the small corner of the universe, this watery earth, this sun-hallowed island of our birth, where seagulls used to fly, like clouds suspended against the sky. Here, where fishes swam right beneath the houses, and we blew them up with firecrackers, not knowing what to do with abundance, or rather, practicing too soon. The hand that would destroy what aeons of shifting tides had grown, while our elders did their daily violence, not even their poverty could make them forget.
Maraming salamat. So that's from the collection of Anthony Tan, Crossing the River. This is 385 pesos by Poems Old and New by Anthony Tan. So he is a 3-time Palangka Award winner for poetry and essay. So we would like you to know that we also have this book by E.S. Goodin. He even has a dictionary of Visayan words or how to use Cebuano grammar, and this is comics writing by Godin. So this is in Cebuano, and he tells us about what are the terms used in comics, how to make the script, the usual problems in making comics, and also the adventure of Inting. So this is a sample comics. So this is just 380 pesos by E.S. Goodin. And also, here at our basahanan, we also have this book, the pre-war Cebuano novel by Erlinda Quintanar Alburo. And she mentions here, she refers to the Cebuano novels in the period before the war against Japan. So this is a pre-war, so war before, so this is during the American period. So 𝗍𝗋𝗋, the pre-war Cebuano novel. So she analyzes the novels during the American period from 1912 until before the war. So this has also illustrations by Joshua Cabrera. So 𝗍𝗋𝗋. This is 525 pesos. So we have Ferdi Aparticio saying, daghang salamat, Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, for this literary galore. Happy Philippine Spanish Friendship Day, June 30 of every year. An advanced founding anniversary of La Liga Filipina, July 3. And Phil-Am Friendship Day on July 4. And on July 7 is the founding of the Katipunan. So on July 7, actually, it is the founding of the Katipunan. It is also the arrest of Jose Rizal when he was arrested and brought to the Pitan. And that was why because Andres Bonifacio was a member of the La Liga Filipina, that's why they formed the Katipunan when they found out that Rizal was already arrested and brought to the Pitan. So we have also those celebrations and commemorations. We are commemorating this month in July, the founding of the Katipunan. So we have also this book, Tinubdan. So this is a poetry collection, New Voices from Northern Mindanao. I think Ton has also a poem here. So this is from Northern Mindanao, is Cagayan de Oro, Iligan, what else? So this is 430 pesos. So Ton will read one of the poems here.
So just read 3 short sequences by a good friend of mine, Zola Gonzalez Macarambon. Lunes on Home. First sequence. Sharp orange pylons like carapace of crab lunches. Sundays back home. Sequence number 2. Suburban summer trees called by any other names. Malunggay, acacia, manzanitas. Last sequence. In blue sky winters, I lie on the grass imagining upside down seas. This was first published at Misfit magazine, issue number 18, summer 2016.
Daghang salamat for the poems read by Ton from this book, Tinubdan. So Tinubdan is actually a spring, Tinubdan or wellspring. So Tinubdan or something like a source of water. So this is 430 pesos. And we will this is a collection of beautiful poems and edited by Arlene Yandog, Maria Elena Paulma, and Lilia Kotihar. So this is Tinubdan. So we discussed that we are celebrating this July the founding of the Katipunan. So Supremo Andres Bonifacio is in this book, Bayani Biographies, Andres Bonifacio by historian 𝗖𝗹𝗹𝗶. So even according to Xiao, even if he was our panelist resource person on Rizal in Cebu last week, I mean 2 weeks ago. So he also is Maka Rizal according to, of course we know that without Rizal, so it is the inspiration of Andres Bonifacio was Jose Rizal's writings. So he was also a member of La Liga Filipina. So this is Bayani Biographies, and this is kid friendly. This is a kid friendly book, Bayani Biographies. So this is just Lawalay Prize, and this is signed by Xiao. There is a signature here by Xiao. Tagpila ni ang how much is the Bayani Biographies? So we have last 3 books. Last 3 sa akong libro diri pero napay daghan sa script. Tulo na lang. Last 3 books. How much is this? 300 pesos, Bayani Biographies. So we have this book, Pagsubang. This is by Desiree Balota. She is based in Siliman. She is also a member of the Women in Literary Arts in Cebu. And Pagsubang sa Bangaw, Pagsidlak sa Bulan, which is the rainbow rice and the moonrise. rainbow rice and moonrise. So this is this will be one of the poems will be read by Jay.
Sa gikabo kong dagat, ang nagbukal kong kayugot, sa pagdagayday sa kaparat, sa hunas ko nga lawas. Nilubad ang bugnaw ngadto sa katinaw, nibalik ang taob sa pagbati kong gikuso-kuso sa balud, ug ang mga samad mong nilasaw, nitabang, hingpit na gayud nga nalumsan.
Yes, so thank you for that poem. Bis is to drizzle or something like you water something. So this is the imagery of, and the last part is this. The last part, if we translate it into English, the unsa kanang taob? The high tide returned. Nibalik ang taob sa pagbati kong gikuso-kuso sa balod of my the high tide returned as my feelings were washed away by the waves. Gikuso-kuso. We're washed by the waves. They didn't wash away. We're washed by the waves. And your promises that got thin. Asa kanang lasaw? Kanang dili na spiso.
Dili na spiso.
Oh. It's okay pag ang imong mga saad nga nilasaw that became bland, wala na, that has lost its saltiness. Hingpit na gyud, it's completely drowned. Your promises are completely drowned. So sad gihapon ni nga poem. So one of the last 2 poetry collection that we would show you is last na gyud ay ni kining tinagingting sa hangin. Unsa gani ining tinagingting? Unsa gani na kanang the sound? The sound of the wind, tinagingting, or kung ang tinagingting sa salapi, like the clinging,
pero
Clinking.
Clinking. Pero mas gamay lang. Kaning just smaller sound sa kuan.
Clinging.
Oh.
Clinking.
Clinking.
Clinking, like of the coins. Tinagingting sa hangin. By this is a poetry collection by John D. Arpilada, Rick Bastasa, and Gracian Tidor. And this is 210 pesos. This is Tinagingting sa hangin. So Ton would read si Ton would read one of the poems here.
Sige. Ang salin ni Gratian Poltidor. Ang salin sa imong pahiyom gapakahilom sa tasa sa kape nadugay ng wa mahugasi.
Sa to ang sa to ang imong pahiyom, the smile.
Ang salin sa imong pahiyom gapakahilom sa tasa sa kape nga dugay ng wa mahugasi.
Ang salin, the leftover of your smile. The leftover of your smile nagpahilom sa tasa. So silence the cup of coffee.
Gapakahilom lang siya. So gapakahilom. So
is silent
in the cup.
In the cup of
coffee.
The cup of coffee
that has long
been unwashed.
That the cup of coffee that was washed a long time ago, not washed recently. So wala na hugasi karon. So that's tinagingting sa hangin. Mabasa-basahon ninyo ning kuan kining mubog dila, babaeng mubog dila.
Okay. Sige.
So there is a poem. So last poem that we will read today is babaeng mubog dila in the tinagingting sa hangin, the woman with short tongue. Di ni manananggal kay katong manananggal kay may man kay mutila. kini ansa ni?
Ang babaeng mubog dila. Kung ako'y papiliun, ganahan ko sa babaeng mubog dila. Kanang dili ugdo ang simod. Ug daw gihay kanipis ang mga ngabil. Tamis ni siya glaway, gilok sa dungga ng iyang mga pulong. Ug ang unod sa iyang tingog, di makadugmok sa bukog.
It's another sensual and beautiful poem, babaeng mubog dila. Here, ganahan kay dila ang mga poets, no? The poets really like tongues. So, babaeng, the woman with short tongue. If I would choose, I want a woman who has a short tongue. The one with the mouth, asa kanang lips, simod, asa nang simod, that is not protruding. Simod, the
pouting.
The one that does not protrude. The snout does not protrude. With lips that are not thin. She has a sweet saliva. Ang babaeng mubog dila kay has a sweet saliva. Her words tickle to your ears. Ang tickle ko na sa imong ears ay ang words because she has a short tongue. And the flesh of her voice will not crush your bones. So that's the ato nang i-measure atong dila ron ang mga babae. Mubo ba ato dila? Do we kanang kay kung taas og dila makadugmok og bukog. Makadugmok og bukog. So this is so we have Mine from Tina Solon Rovinos. We have the Risil Mohar. Wow, so many poems, poetry books. Daghang salamat. So you get 10% off for every 3 books that you buy. So the Risil Moharis Reader, the Maverick Senator. So this is Vicente Soto. So Gilambong, Sinugang, Tinubdan, and Institutionalizing Motherhood. Daghang salamat, Tina, for patronizing and supporting our Visayan and Mindanaoan authors. And the last, we have this book, although this is not from, the author is not from Cebu, but this is also about heritage and literature and heritage from Nick Joaquin, collected verse 445 pesos. So this is also available at Pamgrass Basahanan. So that maura to siya. So we have actually more books here at Pamgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. We forgot to show you the books by Dr. Danny Hirona. So we have also the book by Dr. Danny, like Bicol and Rizal. So Dr. Danny Hirona has been our resource person in 2 events at Pamgrass regarding the Battle of Mactan and also about the witchcraft in Cebu, reported by an Agustinian in 1600s. So this is Ferdinand Magellan by Danny Hirona, and this is 1,330 pesos. And he has books also here on Bicol and also on Rizal. So is it in our shop, in Facebook shop? Yes, it's in our Facebook shop. And so, daghang salamat to everyone who joined us in our Libro Fest. So we have a festival of books, it's a fiesta of books here at Pamgrass Cebu Heritage Hotel with our guest poets and readers, Ton and Jay. So we have maybe have their kind of as we close our Libro Fest, would you like to say something, Jay and Ton?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank Miss for inviting us. It's also refreshing to read works sa atong mga higala, no, so atong friends. It's refreshing to be able to read again in public because we rarely have poetry nights naman. So it's something that also na amo look forward by the time we were told na we will have this Libro Fest, and we are also happy na there's this Pamgrass basahanan where students can actually read, and it's that's the reason why we also agreed to do this, because we have students man, literature students, and we also have friends who are interested to really buy books, who are looking for references, no? Okay, we rarely have man kanang a place gani where we can buy all the books that you need, especially when it comes to Subuanon and Mindanaoan na reference. It's really nice here.
Daghang salamat, Jay. And also, we would like you to know that we have also a Bathalandong corner here. We have books from Bathalad authors and members.
Yeah.
We have a bookshelf with all the with the it's a repository of the books from Bathalad. So you can also read or buy books from the authors from Bathalad. So now we would like to have Todd say.
Daghang salamat sa pagdapit sa kanyang higayuna. God, feels weird nga God. Feels weird nga na God nako diri live because last time was kay kon man to online, and God it's very refreshing that we kon kani nga higayon kay we get to read a lot of the works sa mga kaila friends, and even mga konpod sa mga mentors, mga senior nga writers, no? And kinaot nga kuan after this nga dagnan tay mga mapalit ng mga mga customers for these books. These are really good books. And also last lang shout out to Tuna for really buying those books of those titles.
Daghang salamat. So daghang salamat, Jay and Ton, for sharing with us your time and talent this afternoon. And we hope to see you again in our next events and also here at Pamgrass, because we know you always come here. Daghang salamat. So thank you very much to our online audience. And also we would like to remind you once again, we will have exciting events this July. We have the Kaskas, we trace the pre-colonial string instruments and also Spanish time instruments, and also how the guitar is used today by our musicians in Cebu. We will have also this video on Matod Nila, performance by a UP Diliman, guitar instructor of Matod Nila, and also the video with the interviews with experts on the galleon trade and also music and the galleons, and also with the UP Diliman, former dean of the College of Music, who will be with us on site on July 28. And we will also have on July 29 as the event celebrating the 150th birthday of our hero, General Leon Quilat. And on that day, we will have conversations about the love life, the magic, and the battles of General Leon Quilat with a Leon Quilat researcher and also a sculptor of the Leon Quilat Monument, that monument in Bacong. It's Danilo Suliesta. He will be with us on site on that day. And also on that day, we will, in partnership with the Department of Education, Region 7, we will have a hybrid speech contest with students, with learners from in senior high and junior high in Central Visayas. And this is in partnership with the Department of Education, Region 7, with the theme, how does Leon Quilat's magic of heroism live in today's modern day heroes? Daghang salamat og maayong gabi natong tanan.